how well can you predict? How well can you understand the risks and the rewards, the likelihood of things happening? I was lucky to spend a lot of my childhood in mathematics, studying deeply, both at school and university, this subject. And I've seen how there's this theory of probability, this theory of prediction. And clearly we have an ability to do that. We are able to predict some of the things that happen. Today, and why I'm filming inside, because outside it's raining, and a few days ago there was this prediction that the weather was going to go bad, that there would be this rain coming. Again, that labeling of good and bad is very subjective, right? And so we have this aspect where we can predict some things, and yet clearly we don't have these lives that are super organized with no surprises, no unexpected learning and growing opportunities that happen. Often we call them breakdowns and problems. And so what is it about probability? What is it about science that is like this painting behind me, sometimes turbulent, sometimes unexpected? Now, is it that we have the wrong model? Is it we don't understand how to use the models we have? Or is it simply we're not weighing and measuring those things we need to from an outside perspective? Now, clearly there was a sound just then. Maybe you heard it, that ding from a phone. Now, I was expecting a phone call, expecting a visitor to arrive at my property shortly to deal with some things we're dealing with. But sometimes there are things that we don't predict, and how you navigate those, I think, will make the difference in our life and business. Now, for me, I'm more and more looking at how to be clear of this North Star, this vision that I want to create for my life moving forward, and what's possible that I'm standing for. Whether anybody else agrees or not, I'm saying that's what I'm going to go after. And I'm still exploring what that is, especially in the recent times with everything changing, in a time we can connect and communicate around the world, but we can't do what we used to do. So what can we do, and how do we manage that, and how do we take a different stance towards life, which has been fundamentally unpredictable and challenging for many millennia, if not from day one. So having a simple, safe life in a box, that I don't think is what any of us really want. And yet we want to go into space, we want to go into these great adventures in life. We want to have some safety, because if the chance of death was instantaneous in every moment, we'd never do anything. So how do we take those steps forward? How do we build a way to grow and a way to share and a way to connect? I think it comes back to probability. Now, many of us look at that heads and tails coin as one of our first places we start. As a kid, as a young child, the idea of flipping a coin and picking will it land heads or tails is a very commonplace idea. But seeing that it could land on that rim, that it could land differently, that possibly this modelling is not the whole truth, is a start. So what is the right model to apply, and how do we do that? Now, this isn't a maths course, but we could talk about the central limit theorem of sampling, and equally, those samplings tend to be approximations. So being with this aspect that there is this assumption, there is this approximation in what we do, while at the same time needing to have a level of certainty, or at least an awareness of how we play in life. So when I turn the light switch on, I expect the light to go on. And yet we all know that sometimes light bulbs blow. And you can model those, the distribution globally, on an average of how these light bulbs will have a challenge. But on an individual basis, it's almost impossible to know exactly when it will go unless you have the kind of information that nobody is tracking. So why am I going on about this? Because today is, for me, an upgrade day. It's a time to rethink. We're going into May Day on the 1st of May. We've got a few days left as we start to open up what we're doing with Strategic Alchemy Lab, with Make3D.com, and these kind of ideas, these kind of fundamentals, these basics that get overlooked are so vital. And so probability and understanding that activity of optimization can only happen when we go back to first principles. We go back to understanding how we think and how we're choosing to operate in life.